This is gonna be an extremely rough transition, but we're organizing our bookshelf. It is the new year. Welcome to 2025, and part of that means decluttering, organizing, actually dusting the shelves that you admire every day. So that's what we're doing. In terms of the format of this, I don't know how it's gonna be. Low-key, I don't know how this is gonna turn out in post. Future me, I hope it's easy. But I'm gonna flip you around and we're gonna talk about where we are right now and the vision that we have for the shelves. This bookshelf, we are gonna keep it the fantasy bookshelf just because this one could be full. I'm just working left to right, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna keep this one the fantasy one. Up here, we're gonna still keep as the Sarah J. Maas section. We have Throne of Glass, we have ACOTAR, and we have Crescent City. That's gonna be up here just because I think that they all fit nicely up on the shelf, like almost perfectly. They're gonna stay there. Here. This is going to be the favorite section. So One Dark Window, Cruel Prince, Emily Wilde, books I really, really loved. That's gonna be here, that I've already read. Next shelf. This is going to be books I need to read, like high priority fantasy TBR books. That's what this is gonna be. And I'm gonna try to keep it mainly series, because I have a few series that I want to get through that I just haven't started. One of my resolutions for 2025 is to actually finish the series that are sitting on my shelves before I commit to more series. So that's what this shelf will be. One more shelf. You can still see this one. Perfect. This shelf is still gonna be fantasy books that I need to read, but it's gonna also start including more of the fantasy YAs, I think. And there are some in progress ones that I haven't finished, mainly because they haven't come out with the next book in the series, so that's where these are going to be. And then the one below it, this is where you start to not be able to see, that one is going to be specifically the Cassandra Clare shelf. Yes, I have all of the Clockwork Prince and Princess Angel series. I don't know why I said each book individually. I'm going to put that series there. I'm going to put the one copy I have of the Mortal Instruments. I actually want to buy the entire Mortal Instruments. I've said that before on this channel. And I have two other books from another series of hers. That's where those are going to go. And then the last one will probably just be more fantasy books, honestly. Which ones? I don't know. But that's the vibe. So, Sarah J. Maas. Top favorites, already read. Books to be read. This may be a books to be read as well. But this will start being the YA books to be read that are fantasy, Cassandra Clare, and then whatever ones they'll make it up here. I'm trying to like actually utilize my bookshelf space, but not utilize it to the point that I only have like 3 shelves full. You know, we want it to look cute still in the meantime. This shelf is basically anything not fantasy. So the small contemporary romance or just contemporary fiction, that's what goes on this shelf. My anime stuff goes on this shelf, so my manga, and a lot of little trinkets. And it's also mainly storage. Like I have my little storage bins with my filming equipment and stuff. That'll be on this shelf. This has been and will remain the manga shelf for Spy Family because I don't have any other manga. I told myself I'm not gonna buy any more until I finish Spy Family, so that is what we're doing. That's what this shelf is gonna be. This one, again, we will do contemporary romance. That's what this one will be. This shelf will be mysteries and thrillers. I don't have many of those, but we'll do that. And then this shelf will try to do YA if we have enough. And the bottom 2 is just storage, and I think I'm gonna have an empty shelf on this one just because I don't have a lot of those books. Let me show you the piles that we're working with, guys. Those are bad. So these are literally all the books that just came off of the fantasy shelf. Quite literally everything that was on that shelf. That small pile is contemporary romance, I believe. That is YA romance, and then manga. Oh, there's a pile of manga. Oh, there they are. Hi, Spaghetti and me. Hello. And then this is the bin of coloring books. Hi, Haku. Hi, Haku. The bin of coloring books, and then the bin for my camera equipment and other just filming equipment. And this, again, is what we are working with. This shelf is basically personal stuff, so like K-pop, Bible study, my Bibles, Christian-related nonfiction, stuff like that, books my dad has written. All of that shelf is that. So that's pretty much going to be untouched because honestly, it's pretty organized. So it's just these that we're working with today. I think that's enough yapping. I think I'm just gonna prop you guys up somewhere, hopefully in a nice flattering angle that I don't look like a potato. And we're just gonna start cleaning and that's it. My back is hurting. But we kind of organized them on the Let's go through it real quick. Okay, Sarah J. Maas, beautiful. You see what I mean? That she like fits perfectly up there. So far, these are the favorites, meaning One Dark Window, Emily Wilde, Crow Prince. I have not read The Prisoner's Throne yet. It'll look nice there, but I really should move that one down. These are books that we for sure want to read this year, as well as those books. We'll see how I organize that. These are all the books I've already read. You can't tell, but Ninth House is in there. Powerless, River Enchanted, Babel, Fear the Flames, the Divergent series is in there. This is the Cassandra Clare shelf. I'm probably gonna move Divergent down to the Cassandra Clare shelf just because I've already read it and they're kind of both just like nostalgic reads for me. So I feel like that's gonna go there. And then those are other books I haven't read in the fantasy genre that I need to read, but I'm not super into reading them right this minute. Oh, and the vision for this, once I move those over, is I think I'm gonna start putting my physical TBR on that shelf for the month so that I could see like what books I'm gonna read, and I pull them out and I just put them there. I think that's what I'm gonna do, but we'll see. Up here we have Spy Family, of course, like I said, the manga shelf. Then it is mainly romance, so Emily Henry, Abby Jimenez, some other romance books that I've had for a while. And then here is where I put some of the YA mystery, thriller, contemporary. So like I have the Inheritance Games there. I got a new series that my friend gave me that I need to read, or the first two books I think. I don't think it's a complete one. And then just more contemporary, like Where the Crawdad Sings, Normal People, which honestly, if I'm being honest, I tried to read Normal People and I didn't get into it, so I actually may donate her, but she's there for now. And then those are the thriller mystery books that honestly, some of them I've read, some of them I have not. I have not read enough to actually categorize them like that. So as you can see, if we look at it, I have a lot more fantasy than I do contemporary books and romance, so it is what it is. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave you guys hanging for a little bit. I'm going to figure out how I want to display all these books, because honestly that's probably going to be a lot of back and forth. And then once I finish, I'll bring you guys back and we'll do a full in-depth shelf reveal about what ended up where and just how it all looks. So hang tight, I'll be right back. We are done. Oh my gosh, that was actually so much harder than I thought it was gonna be, and I actually didn't stick to the plan I had originally. Are we surprised? No, it's okay. Yes, but she's done. She's done. It looks emptier in some spots because I also did get rid of some books, so we'll get to those in a minute, but let me do a close-up of the bookshelf so you can see how it's actually organized. Starting here, we are going to keep the Christmas tree I had with the birds, and I'm going to get some felt hearts for Valentine's Day to decorate them with. We have a book vase that my aunt gave me for Christmas, and I will be using to put in either some Lego flowers or maybe bookmarks or whatever. We have one of the books I'm going to read in January. We did have enough space to actually put all the TBR here, so there's that. And then we moved my dying plant back. For whatever reason, this plant really has a hard time in my office. I don't know why, but that's that. Up here, we have the Sarah J. Maas section. The only books I've read up here is the first 4 books in ACOTAR. Everything else is unread, and A Court of Silver Flames I'm actually like 30% through, so yes, I need to read all of them, but they just look too perfect on their own shelf. Next shelf, these are my favorites. So we have One Dark Window, Two Twisted Crowns, the Cruel Prince series that I've read to date. We did move the Prisoner Throne duology down to the unread shelf just because I would be lying if I said I had read it and it was one of my favorites. We have Emily Wilds, of course, love her. We have A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, that duology. My unfinished cactus Lego. I have the extra pieces, but if you look closely, she needs those pieces. And then I know I said I was going to do a Cassandra Clare shelf, but I absolutely love the Clockwork Angel trilogy, so I decided to move them up here. These are the books I for sure want to read this year. They all managed to fit on this shelf, which is great. We have The Will of the Many, When the Moon Hatched, Tress of the Emerald Sea, Sabbatahir, Air, and An Ember in the Ashes, Jade City, Red Rising, Legendborn, The Sword of Kaigan, Daughter of the Moon Goddess, The Poppy War Trilogy, The Night Circus, Dance of Thieves, Holly Black's Book of Night, and The Prisoner's Throne duology. We also have my cute little jelly cat I got for my birthday, and another cute little Lego. So these, I know most of them are series, and most of them I actually don't have the remaining books. For example, like Jade City. Will I get the series immediately after finishing them? I don't know, but the plan is to just read these, move them down to the read shelf, and then pick up from the bottom shelf of the unread. These are the books that I have read that are all fantasy, so the Powerless series to date, Fourth Wing to date, Serpent and the Wings of Night, Red Riding Hood, the Lightlark series to date, well, except for Skyshade. I haven't purchased Skyshade yet. The Ninth House trilogy to date, Six of Crows duology, Fear the Flames, and the Lost Apothecary. Wow, that one almost took me out. Next, this was gonna be the Cassandra Clare shelf, but we did end up moving the Divergent books that I own down. And I haven't read This Woven Kingdom, but I feel like the shelf ended up being definitely more YA than I initially anticipated, so I just put them here. And then this bottom shelf are all the unread books that I want to read, but I'm not fully in the mood to read right now. Or for example, Immortal Dark, I started but DNF'd, so she's still here. I considered donating her, but honestly, I wanted to give it another shot. I feel like I just wasn't in the right mindset when I read it, so that's what this shelf is. Next, in the romance contemporary shelf, we have the anime shelf, looking good. These are the purely romance books I own. It's kind of crazy, I only own literally one shelf of romance books. On this left side are the ones that I have read, and then starting from these ones that are stacked over, I have not read yet. Obviously, I don't own enough that I could have just had a whole shelf of unread, because then the whole bookshelf would be unread. So that is how I compromise. This is the contemporary section, really. I know that Inheritance Games really isn't contemporary. It's definitely more YA mystery thriller-ish kind of vibe, but I just felt like putting it over here because it really doesn't belong in the fantasy shelf, and I have read them and I did like them, so I faced them out like that. And then I have just other contemporary books that I have not read. And then this shelf, we just have the mystery thrillers. I have read Gone Girl, I have read Ghosted. Everything else I have either started and then given up through halfway through or part of the way through, and so those are all remaining unread. Then we ended up with some extra space on the bottom two shelves, but it's alright. I put my coloring books in a bin and my markers, and then that's all my camera equipment in the other top bin with a lid next to my penguin and some other just stuffed animals I have accumulated over the years. So, like I said, while I was going through and trying to organize, there were books that I had on my shelf that I just have been holding on to in the hopes of reading, but honestly, I'm not gonna read them, so I am gonna donate them. Or I read them and I know I'm not gonna reread them, and so again, I'm gonna donate them to a little free library or something like that. The first two, we have Verity by Colleen Hoover and we have Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I read Verity in 2023. I actually read this in like a day, I kid you not. My best friend was reading it, she really liked it. And honestly, it's okay, it's not bad. I think I rated it like a 3-star. But I personally will never read Colleen Hoover again. This was also donated to me by that friend because she also decluttered her bookshelf from Colleen Hoover. And I was like, oh, maybe just to like join the hate train. I don't know, you know, like maybe I'll read it, but I'm never gonna read her books. I just don't vibe with her as an author, don't vibe with her actions. So these will be getting donated. Next we have all of the Jenny Han To All the Boys I Loved Before and The Summer I Turned Pretty book. I purchased To All the Boys I Loved Before because I really liked the first 2 movies. And I think at the time it would have been great for me to read, but I was just not in a reading mood. And now at the age that I am, these just don't fit for me. I have a hard time relating to the characters. So there are young teenage girls that would love this series. And that also applies to The Summer Turned Pretty. I watched the first season of the show. I loved it. I was like, oh, let me read all these books. I read the first one and I just have never finished the trilogy. So I'm gonna donate these because, like I said, there are young girls who would eat these books up. The next book is The Proposal by Jasmine Guillory. I read this. I hated this, actually. I'm surprised I pushed through and finished it, but I did not like this book at all. And so it will be donated. It is a romance book. It just didn't have a lot of substance for me to like. My cat is eating, stop, my cat is eating a leaf. But I just don't like it. I don't see myself rereading this at all. And so I will be donating this one. And last, we have The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. This was supposed to be a buddy read with me and my best friend back in October? Was it October? As you can see, I started it and I kind of annotated it. I don't think I even highlighted it. I think I literally just tabbed the pages. Yeah, I just tapped the pages. So this was okay. It started out real good, but then the main character in this book got so annoying so quick, and I was just really trying to force it down my throat. If we're talking about thrillers and suspense, you need to keep me on the edge of my seat. And she was so unreliable to the point that I just didn't even like her. I didn't like her. And I was kind of getting bored with it. It felt very repetitive, even, like, I was almost halfway through this book. Where was I? Yeah, I was like, almost out here. So, you know, I got bored, and it was feeling really repetitive. So, that is why we just decided to put it down and pick up something else, because neither of us were liking it. And I don't see myself ever picking this up again. So I will be donating this one as well. Other books I considered donating, I think I already mentioned Normal People. I have tried so hard to read Normal People, and for some reason I'm just like convincing myself I'm gonna read it again this year, because I've had Normal People since 2023 and I have not read it. I read like 50 pages and I really struggled to get into it, but every time I declutter my shelf I look at it and I'm like, this will be the year. This will be the year I read Normal People. I'm very doubtful, but we'll see. We'll see if I actually read it this year. So yeah, that's the video, albeit very spontaneous. I hope the pieces really come together in editing and it's actually a coherent video for y'all, but I honestly am so happy I was able to reorganize my bookshelf, do a little decluttering, clean it, because you guys probably know it's actually like a big pain to clean the bookshelves, to take everything off, to dust it. It's a big deal. So I've been putting it off for a really long time and I'm really glad I was able to do it today. And it just makes it easier for me when I come to do my January TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope your New Year's was wonderful and you had a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!